CDH ban discourse has sparked a lot of debate, and earlier I've made some comments that I deeply regret. If I've offended anyone, I'm truly sorry. I hold myself to a high standard, and I want to apologize to the Top Deck community for my... And there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos. It will be a home run, and that will make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'll be a part of this ban conversation moving forward, but I sincerely apologize and ask for your forgiveness.
You guys remember that, Joe?
From 4 years ago?
From a couple years ago.
Okay.
Well, we're doing it now here.
Drake referenced it in the middle of casting. And
I kind of remember that, yeah.
It was so good. Anyway, hello. This is not Cincinnati Reds versus the Kansas City Royals baseball game. I did not make any sort of unkind remarks towards any demographic of people, but this is Punt Pals. I am one of your pals, Lauren, aka MTG_hotdog, MTG hotdog on most social media platforms. I am a washed up, retired CEDH tournament grinder. I now do a lot of work for TopDeck, as everyone was so kindly reminding me yesterday. And I do a lot of event casting, and I post a lot on Twitter, and I am joined by the one, the only, Scorish.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, Scorish, aka Dylan Scorish. You could find me online at Scorishism. I do a bunch of stuff. I'm kind of a renaissance man. I post on Twitter. I post on Discords. I have a Foursquare. I'm very active. You can find me basically all over the place. And Lauren, we just got done casting for the Top Deck. Yeah, we're gonna glaze Top Deck per usual. The Top Deck 15K Invitational.
We did, yeah. And the way you described yourself when I first met you was a sellsword. You were very adamant that was your label.
Mercenary.
You said you don't care which side as long as it pays.
I don't care. I'll work for Monarch, Top Deck, the CDH Reddit, Chaos. You tell me, I'm there. I don't care. You put a sword in my hand and I'll swing.
And that's I just, the confidence of someone to walk around in 2024. Your LinkedIn profile says sellsword, which I was kind of amazed by.
Yeah, sellsword, entrepreneur, product manager.
My product is myself, and I manage my sellsword.
I manage my sword. I'm the product. I sell my sword, and you could always hit me up on LinkedIn. We did a whole LinkedIn thing last episode, but
that's what we call a throwback.
We can get into it some more. I mean, you tell me. I could talk the LinkedIn any day.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed, and we both, you and I, just got off of casting last weekend. You had your first event. You, me, Drake Sasser, we casted the Invitational. But I noticed in between rounds, you had QR codes for your LinkedIn that you were just sort of laying about everywhere.
Yeah, the judges were getting really mad at me because I was going around to tables. I was staff, so I was allowed to be in the invitational area. And normally it's pro level rules enforcement. Spectators are not allowed, but because I was staff, I was allowed back there, and they were getting very, very upset with me because I was going around during active games, laying out my business cards, QR codes up. I was talking about what I just said on stream. A huge violation. There were a couple DQs because of it. They could not get rid of me though. It was pretty strange to see that they just didn't seem to have the power to do it. But yeah, I got a lot of networking done.
You took advantage of the worst staff thing quite a bit. Like, there was a door in the casting room that Alex and I were not using, and it took you to the back rooms of the hotel. Like, there was a beeline from the casting booth to Monroe's booth, and
the backstage area.
Yeah,
I was walking through that shit all weekend. I was getting really close to the maintenance guys. I was walking back there to the dishwashing area.
Shout out Terry.
Shout out Terry. I was just high-fiving people. At one point I offered to help them load stuff off a truck in between rounds. It actually was funny. At one point we had ordered on Sunday night after while we were waiting for the open final to finish, the 4 hour long open game. Yeah, we had ordered mac and cheese burritos. I don't know if you remember this. And I
Oh,
had a
I do.
bowl, and we couldn't. Nobody was working the front desk, and I couldn't find a spoon. So I just like I went to the bar, which was closed, and just went into like the kitchen and just the empty kitchen, and just grabbed like 4 spoons.
Well, it was bizarre because it was like 6 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah,
Like the bar was closed and no one was at the front desk, and there was just like a woman waiting there who had been there for years at that point when we went to
still
try to
100
find.
people in the ballroom.
Yeah,
There's
like
just nobody there.
we just had to take matters into our own. There was like two teenagers hanging out in the restaurant. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've learned this that if you're just like a regular looking guy like in a suit walking around, you can just fucking do anything. It just doesn't matter. I could have walked anywhere in that building and nobody would have stopped me for even a second at any point. It was
Random
honestly really
rooms.
funny. Yeah, I was just going into random rooms. I was just picking shit up. I shouldn't have.
I'm
Like,
staff.
yeah, nobody even asked. I never had to say it.
So, being that this was your first Top Deck event as staff, I mean, walk me through that on your end. I guess I remember my first event. I remember being wide eyed and full of hope, and now I'm a doomer on Twitter. Um, was that an enjoyable experience? How was I as your boss? I'm gonna remind everyone I was your boss for this event. Mr. Holohan pays the bills. Mr. Holohan bought us lots of precious toys, but
Lots
I
of
was
toys.
your
Yeah.
I was your boss, and I need
Yeah,
you to
I
admit to
mean,
that and tell me how I was and everything
yeah,
else.
well, I mean, we'll get into that later. The toys were great. I definitely played a lot of fun games. You didn't share a lot, which was kind of interesting to me, but not shocking, knowing your just
True.
personality type. Yeah, I mean, overall, I had a good time. I mean, I think once the beatings were done and I was initiated, after that, it wasn't really all that bad. But no, I had a good time. It was honestly nice being able to. I know you mentioned this before we started, but being able to just like get out of any conversation or like awkward moment by just being like, "Oh, gotta hit the stream room."
It's
Be like, "Oh,
perfect.
they're gonna need. They actually need me in the. By the way, I need to go work on the stream." Like nothing happening. Like not even streaming.
The
Friday night,
rollout
nothing going
method.
on. The rollout method, yeah, it came in. Honestly, I used the rollout method more than I've ever utilized it this weekend. It was
It,
pretty amazing.
it's powerful, right? Like your quality of events just increases when you're like, yeah, I'm in the middle of a conversation with somebody. Someone walks up, like, yeah, guys, I gotta go.
I gotta go. Sorry,
I gotta roll out.
I gotta roll out. Yeah, just like you're having a conversation one on one, somebody else comes up who you just are not interested in speaking to. No offense, you know, but it's
Some
like I gotta
offense.
roll out.
Yeah.
It's
And
time to
like
it's time to RO.
you just like, and the nice thing too is like working events, you can always, and I was pretty busy because when we weren't casting and stuff, like Friday and Saturday night, I was helping Monroe, but it's like you can cosplay as busy as possible. Like
Oh
you can
yeah.
really put on airs of like, no guys, I'm like busy.
It also was nice too to like be kind of busy. Like there
True.
was just I just didn't really have like downtime, which was nice. Like I think I played a total of 4 actual CDH games.
Same.
And those games were like the ones with I played one game with Freedom Waffle, which like I was playing with like Tad was backseating me basically, and we
Oh,
just
so you were
totally
winning. You were probably winning.
well here's the funny thing, I had resolved a necro dominance line, and we were debating about what to keep, and we ended up keeping it days because there was a player who had 2 mana up, and they were like, oh, I think I have something. I went down to 1 because like what are you gonna do, hold
Hmm.
me, you know?
Gut shot.
And we were like, oh yeah, they have a bowmaster for sure. And then I kept it days. I untap, I go to do something, and they bolt me for
No
having 1 mana
shit.
up. And I'm like, wait, you don't have bowmaster? And then I look carefully, and he's playing a Naya commander. I so didn't care what he was doing at all. I didn't even look at his commander. It just was some new card.
You're like, I have days and they have 2 men. I'm fine.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, yeah. So I've asked Mikey to add Lightning Bolt to the ban list, but
Well, our
go
games
ahead.
that we actually played are my punt story. Um, you and I had played 3 games with Zane, Takato, winner of the Punt Pals Invitational, which we'll touch upon.
Yep. Yep. Did
You
he
and then
win?
me. Yeah, he won.
I think he got bottom.
Yeah, he 0-3'd, but at the Punt Pals Invitational, that means you
Oh,
get the
that's
pin
how
and
you win.
you get the RCQ invite.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh,
He,
true. He top
yeah,
aided.
yeah, he top aided. So I made the punting mistake, one of agreeing to play a quad rog pod, which um I think I very clearly ranted to you how much I hate and
Yeah.
don't enjoy. And on top of that, I made the mistake of going fourth. I rolled the lowest 3 times in a row, so I was fourth seat in a quad rog pod
Every game.
every game. And I'm already not. I'm like having fun because I'm hanging out with you. I'm hanging out with Zane and Takato. So it's like I'm with the boys and we're ready to roll out at any minute. But I'm miserable game wise. I'm like it's just not fun. So my heart's not in it, and I'm just like
Yeah.
going. I'm like okay, I'll play rog. Okay, pass. Like whatever. I don't even make a land drop because I don't give a shit. And
Who cares anymore?
I don't even care. I don't want to win. I don't care. That was my internal dialogue. I was like literally like, guys, I would rather you like put my dick in a stapler right now. I hate these games.
Yeah,
But
Takata was just smoking us too.
yeah, we were taking strays left and right, and then people are coming up to us asking for autographs because we're the Punt Pals. We're like, yeah,
Of
guys, our
course.
episode, whatever. It was really embarrassing for everyone. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I punted those by making the mistake of one agreeing to play and two
Yeah.
low rolling and getting fourth seat 3 times in a row when I'm already not having fun. I was not having. People are like, "Hey, let's play CDH," and I'm already not having fun.
Yeah. It was funny that game too because people kept coming up, like, "Oh my god, quad rog! This is so cool! This is crazy! I've never seen anything like this." Without knowing that is like basically all the games we play.
And I'm like, "No, this isn't fun. Like, you guys don't understand. I'm in hell right now. You're seeing me at my lowest point. I just want to be at Nobu.
You're
Like,
pissing your pants, like, "Oh, take me to the fucking club! Like, put me in Nobu."
it was cool because like I was like, we got some funny photos together during the games, and it was like definitely
Yeah.
worth it for like the vibes and the hangout. But solely in the context of Magic, Quad Rog is like the worst Magic in the world. It's just turn order simulator. Someone's going to win on turn one more than likely, and I'm just sitting there thumbing my ass in seat 4. Like, okay, cool, I got wheeled. We got, the last game we played, the one that fucking broke
Four
me.
wheels.
There was 4 wheels before I even got to my
And
turn
before
one,
turn two.
dude, no, like literally
Oh, I think
before
you're right. I think you're right. That was before your turn one.
Zane did 2 of them, Takato did 1, and you did 1, and I'm just
Yeah.
sitting there like, I already don't want to be here, guys. Like,
Please put me out of my
and
misery.
and the first wheel, I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. I have a turn one Bolas's Citadel. Like this will put me really ahead. And Zane's like, all right, guys, okay, I'm just gonna put a wheel on the stack. And then like, okay, it's like, haha, so funny. We got a wheel on the stack, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it again. I was like, okay, I'm a little over it. And then Takato did it, and then I think you did it just for the laughs,
Why aren't you doing
much to
Takato's
my
accent? Is that just a
I'm
little
not,
too far?
no, not
Okay, okay,
touching that
okay,
one. You do it.
okay.
You do it. You do
No,
it.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not the. You're the accent guy here.
Yeah, reenact the accent of our dear friend Takato, who is from Japan. Let me hear
I.
what he sounds like,
You know
Dylan.
what? He might appreciate it. I don't know if our other listeners will appreciate it
And that's how we get demonetized before we even apply.
before we even monetized. Before we made 1 cent.
Yeah, you made some
Perfect.
sense though. You made a little bit of money this weekend.
Oh yeah. I did. Yeah. I mean,
Big sale.
I big sale. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah, I had purchased a long time ago a revised Tundra that was written in French. It had in French text written on it. I don't know the French. It said it translated to "May this card bring you wins, kisses, Celine." And I sold it to Monroe. And I
Propaganda
was telling
MTG, who
propaganda
I'm
MTG.
sponsored by them, by the way.
Yeah, I told him it was a Celine Dion signed,
So
and
you
he paid me.
lied.
Oh, no, you can't prove that it's not. There's no proof that it is or it isn't. You can't tell me that it's a 100% truly not. It could have been.
And for listeners at home, Celine Dion is French Canadian. She
Which
speaks French.
I should note. that I was telling this to Lauren, and he just knew off the top of his head that Celine Dion was French Canadian, which was like shocking to me that you just knew that.
Why? It's like
Because
common knowledge, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know that I know anything about Celine Dion.
You ever Tundra?
Oh well, yeah,
Had.
ever Tundra, of course, had yeah, yeah. Monroe was telling me it was like the fastest Tundra he sold, not like outside of a con,
Okay, and
sold in like
hold
two
on.
hours.
Back up a little bit. The reason I know that Celine Dion's French Canadian is because I can I say I hate French Canadian? No, I don't want to say that. Please cut
That's
this out.
fine. No, you can say that.
Okay, if there,
We don't.
I
If they're French Canadian, we don't want them listening. I'm sorry. Like we're good. Like we want people listening, not the
I
French.
I can't stand French Canadians, and that's solely because of hockey. It's completely tainted my perception of French Canada. And Celine Dion is a Habs, the Montreal Habitants de Canada, le Canadians, Montreal Canadiens fan. Shout out to my boy Carey Price. Sorry what happened in your career, but Carey Price, if you're listening, DM me. Um, but
He
my
probably
partner and
is.
I got like in an argument about it. She's like saying how great Celine Dion is. I was like, well, no, like the one litmus test that I have for people is yes or no French Canadian, and Celine Dion empirically fails that.
Yeah, like that's just a big no. I can't blame you. I don't like French Canadians either. I just think they're annoying. I don't have any like reason.
Oh, bonjour, you want poutine? It's like, get the fuck out of
Like
my
get the
face.
fuck out of my face.
Oh,
Get the
poutine, no
fuck out of
bev.
my face.
I love punt pals. I do poutine and no bev. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's
What
Italian.
the fuck? Why are you becoming an Italian man?
Bada bing.
What the fuck?
So
But
I'm
yeah,
glad
so
we
that was
covered
my
that.
sale. Yeah, but
I
I
mean,
did want to mention my other the only other CDH games I played other than the ones we just talked about, they were kind
no.
of not they were not real CDH. Like we sat down with the intention of playing, and then I said like, hey, what if we just played? It was me, Ryan, Ryan Delaney, Tad of the Bufftown Bullies, and Sergio of the Sergio squad. We we sat down, and I was like, hey, what if we played a game where we you have to keep your first hand, but we start with ley line and omniscience in play. All of us start with ley line and omniscience. And everyone was universally quad rog. Universally, everyone was like, "Yeah, great. Sounds like it sounds great." So we just had like a 20 spell stack. Maybe we'll see if I can put a link to the picture somewhere. I'll put it
Like
on like the.
four rogs on the stack.
No, well, what we would do is somebody would go to their upkeep, and then before draw, like turn zero, somebody would just like play talisman, play rog, play Silas, talisman, breach, Yogwill. Like just somebody would play a spell, and somebody else would respond with a completely meaningless spell, and it would just keep the chain going forever until somebody hit an MBT or a wheel resolved. It was pretty pretty sick, to be honest.
So
It was just
terrible.
nonsense. Just yeah, just pure brain rot. We played another one that was also, I think this one was more brain rot, where we just had no cards in hand and Leyline Citadel in play,
So stupid.
and you get one free you get one free scry.
And you start Hellbent, right?
You start Hellbent, yeah.
I remember because Ryan Delaney, winner of Fishbowl 4, is a coaching client of mine. So I was,
You
I
practice this
was,
with him.
huh?
You practice this with him.
Yeah, we prepped for this, but I was vending with Monroe, and I hear you guys just the most abhorrent laughter I've ever heard. That's like the hyenas from Lion King, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I walk over, I see the stack that you guys have laid out, and you guys are like presenting it like proud children showing a like a science fair project. Like everything
Yeah,
went wrong, but you still got your little cardboard cutout standing up, and it's just a stack of like 35 cards amongst four decks, and like you're like, look, this is fun. And I didn't even know it was fucking Bolas's Leyline. I just thought it was a regular Rog pod, and I was like, okay, whatever.
you didn't notice there was no permanence in play, like 30
I
things
don't
on the
know with
stack.
you people.
Who knows what we're doing these days?
Tad hasn't made a land drop in months.
That's true. That actually is not that unusual for him. The really funny thing too was like we only played like 2 games at the Citadel one before I just developed a headache and went to bed.
After one sip of
Yeah,
one beverage.
after I had like one sip of sake and threw up immediately. Um, I my keep on top was like Simian Spirit Guide on top. I was like perfect, not a land, and I just twice hit Necro and everyone just scooped. That was it. Those were the games. Just the first person to get a Necro and play, just scoop.
So
Pretty
stupid.
great gaming.
But my coaching has, ever since I got access to the ROG primer, the physical version of it, which we kind of debuted on stream a little bit, it's really
Yeah,
been bustling for me.
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the reaction when we showed it off a little bit, obviously we couldn't show the whole thing, was pretty staggering to say the least.
Should I preview it a little bit for the
Yeah,
viewers, the listeners at home?
go for it.
Okay, so it's my first learning tablet by Leapfrog. Always has 100% battery, always connected to Wi-Fi. I might post the Amazon link if anyone wants to pick it up. So let me power it up real quick.
Hi, friend.
So it's very powerful. So when you hit the doggy sound, the doggy goes.
How are you? I'm Scout.
So that really helps when you're in the middle of a breach line. That kind of like tells you everything you need to do right there. When you hit the piggy sound,
Make this sound.
that's like when you have too much mana in your mana pool. You're like, oh, I'm a gluttonous foul beast. I have so much mana. I like the soccer ball. This is what happens when you hit the soccer ball.
What's your favorite sport?
What's your favorite sport? And that's when we talk about just win mentality and everything like that. And then this helps. This really helps with storm count. I think listeners will really get a kick out of this one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah!
So that's just a little bit of what the ROG primer has. It's basically an iPad. It was really embarrassing when we were casting because Warren Buffett tried getting through. He wanted to discuss some like golf stuff with me, and had to power down the pad to try to get him through. But really powerful technology. Really glad we have the oh my god, it's still on. That scared me. Uh, but it's a powerful piece of tech, and I'm just glad that we have access to it now.
So a few things I want to note here. One, when the piggy snort happened, did you also make the snort sound? It sounded like one of them was from the device and one of them was from you.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
I'm just
It said
checking.
make
Yeah.
it said make this sound.
Well, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? Not make the sound?
The machine told me to.
And two, yeah, Warren also hit me up about a stroke game. Yeah,
Golf.
he's shooting just above par, but I mean for his age, he's really been killing it lately. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to the primer and switch to the music tab and hit the cow?
Hold on, yeah,
This
one
is
second.
Yeah, this is the one I like to do when somebody's coping and like playing interaction, or some idiot drops a fast bond into collector oof.
So you said switch the switch from magnifying glass to music?
To music and then cow.
Music.
Okay, hold on, it's powering on.
Yeah.
No, Mark Cuban, not right now. Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah. This is the one.
Dude, this one slaps.
Yeah, this is some good stuff right here. Do you think this is gonna get like copyright striked by like the ROG cabal or something? The people who write the primer.
If we get a C&D from Leapfrog,
that would be pretty sick. That would be good publicity for us, probably.
Yeah, we're the first Magic company to be sued by Leapfrog.
The Punt Pals take on Leapfrog, trial of the century.
PP versus LF.
Gas.
Hold on, I'm gonna see who Leapfrog's parent company is. If it's Hasbro,
oh, we're cooked.
We might be fucking. We might get the.
We might be
Pinkertons.
cooked. Yeah, we might be cooked.
Okay, they're owned by VTech. Who owns VTech?
Zane Nair.
Oh, they're a Hong Kong-based global supplier of electronic learning products and the
Fuck, it's the
largest
Chinese.
manufacturer of
God damn
cordless
it.
phones. Well, no, Hong Kong. This is actually a contentious thing.
Oh, sorry,
Oh, wait, no,
sorry.
it's a special economic zone. I'm thinking of Taiwan. If anyone
Yeah,
has any opinions on sort of the Taiwanese situation, let me know.
I was gonna say I feel like we maybe should do like an hour or two on the the Taiwanese independence, or not,
Punt,
or we
Punt
could not too.
Pals, Punt Pals solves Asia.
That'd be pretty sick. There's a few conflicts we could solve.
I,
We could
I
probably
don't want
figure
to
it
get
out.
too much into it, but my TikTok feed has been overwhelming with North Korean propaganda.
That's gas. That's fucking gas. I need to get my For You page right. Although I should say my For You page on TikTok is a lot of videos of the same Chinese guy, I think. Yeah, Chinese guy doing like tasks, like really arduous. Like he'll wake up and do like 15 minutes of like manual labor that are edited that are clearly like hours of work to like
Mm.
make a coaster or like make a bowl of soup. He'll like
Hmm.
have a palm frond and do like 20 things to it. And then at the end, he's like eating a bowl of cereal. You know what I'm talking about? And he does ads now too. Like he's gone mainstream.
Okay.
Well, he'll have like a mid roll ad for like a Chinese like app.
Good for him.
He's like, this whole thing is like he lives in the countryside and there's no technology. And then halfway through, he starts speaking directly to the camera about like a Chinese app. It's pretty yeah. Well, essentially that's just my TikTok. That's my TikTok update of the week. What's going to be a new segment we do.
It sounds fake because like 15 minutes of labor is that's the human body can't withstand 15 minutes of physical labor. It's
No,
just
no,
not
no,
possible.
edited. It's edited. So it's
And
like
he's
it's clearly hours of labor that's edited down to 15
that's
minutes.
just not it's just not over like days and like weeks. Like you can't just do
15
like
total.
yeah, that like I think 2 or 3 minutes of cardio is what doctors say is like the max a human can do.
Absolutely max. Like
I
if I send 2 emails in a day, I'm like I'm pooped.
Yeah, the human body cannot withstand that sort of velocity of production.
No, absolutely not.
I
Absolutely not.
I had to go to the upstairs restroom at work, and it was one flight of stairs, and I was halfway through and I thought my knees were gonna explode.
Dude, there's one elevator in my office. And like I park where the place I park is on the opposite side of the building. And I will walk across the entire office to avoid going up the one flight of stairs. One like small flight of stairs too. I'll walk like half a mile to avoid going up one flight of stairs.
You can walk half a mile.
Well, I take a break. I stop in the break room and have a snack, obviously.
I was gonna say that's like an endurance record, and the thing is, like in LA, distance is just different. It's like an LA half mile is like a 10 miles in Ohio.
Or wherever you people are from, where you're listening to this. Whatever slop hole you're from, that's not LA.
Any gluttonous foul beast in the slop
Yeah.
hole?
Any
Shout out
GFBs to the SH?
Shout out whatever slop hole you're in. And also, if you're a stinky stat ham, love you too.
People always say like people from LA are elitist. And I just wonder how they even get internet in their slop hole to type that.
Do you think the haze would stop the internet rays from being able to, let me go online? But
I would
it
hope.
doesn't. It doesn't.
I would
I
hope
will
it
say
would.
though, flying from Los Angeles into Columbus, Ohio, for the Envy, I felt like I was entering a third world country.
You're entering like a special economic zone.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? I was like, there's no trash on the streets. There's
All you
not.
people are ugly.
Yeah, I'm beautiful and none of you are. But for real, like it was bizarre. I was like, everything's deep fried and covered in ranch, and everyone's like trying to kind of make small talk with me. There's a lot of brick, the overwhelming amount of brick and like greenery. It was a very jarring experience as someone who's never been to the Midwest. And I love Midwest emo. I listen to a lot of Midwest emo, And I think now after seeing how the sausage is made, I really have to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like Midwest emo. What are you guys depressed about? Like your cows aren't producing enough milk, you know?
I get it though, because if I had a pulse and I lived in Ohio, I would be depressed too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You don't have any homeless people like screaming at you or attacking you or anything. You know,
No, my
it's
Citizen app. Do you have Citizen in whatever village you're in?
you know what I did. I did have it when I lived in New York, and it was constantly going off about something or another.
I can't even select the incident because it's just so full of ongoing,
Crimes,
yeah, crimes, misdemeanors,
mayhem,
mayhem.
general. Yeah, 0.2 miles away, general mayhem occurring.
That was my rank in the military.
General mayhem. That's
General
what they called me
mayhem.
at summer camp. Don't ask.
Don't
I
even
will.
ask.
I will never tell you.
I might rename my Hodolist General Mayhem right
That's
now.
pretty good.
This is, I guess, another punt story. I was intentionally making really confusing deck list names, and it got to the point where like I confused myself. So my Dihada name was UG Control, like blue green control, because it's like everything the deck isn't. But then
Right.
my blue farm deck or my Timna Crom deck, excuse me, has a like kind of a
What's blue farm?
sentiment. Yeah, blue farm is when you pay 5 mana for your commander and then lose. But
Yeah.
my Timna Crom deck has like a sentimental name to it. And then my Rog Silas, and they're all next to each other. And my Rog Silas I called it Blue Farm. And so like when I'm quickly scrolling through, it's like, oh fuck, I need to go to my Blue Farm. And like I instinctually click on Rog side to go. And long story short, I've kind of fucked myself in terms of how my things are organized, and I need to do some soul searching to change that.
I will say that kind of just reminds me about like I know we wanted to talk about the general slop of some of these games we watched over
Oh
the
my
weekend.
god.
Like just the slop, just the pure like unadulterated slop fests that were occurring in some of these
I'm gonna
matches.
I'm gonna go on like an Alex Jones rant. I was prepared to about how no one wants to win. I thought with the Envy, it was gonna be it's the best players and they deserve to be there on the best decks, except for some of them. Uh,
Right.
and everyone was too fucking scared to win. I don't know what. Maybe it was the pressure. It was pro Ariel. It was this is make or break. I want to win this shit. Nobody wanted to win. And you and I just sat there in the casting booth, literally going, they should have institutionalized us for how crazy we were going.
We were going nuts.
We were going nuts. Like I broke Drake. Drake, who is a consummate professional, does casting for TopDeck. He's a not channel Fireball. I believe he's a Star City Games champion in some fucking 60 card format.
Some
And
bullshit we don't care
he
about.
he does casting for NRG. Like he's got a decent Magic portfolio. He's even in like I vividly remember he's breaking down. He's like, "Please just hand me the Rogsai iPad. I don't know what's going on. I'm scared."
And hysterics.
Yeah, he broke, and then you and I just were fucking just done.
Oh god.
Not in a bad
We
way.
were
Not
yeah, but I mean we were just we were going nuts. I was coming up with lines that didn't even like make sense. Like the cards in the decks didn't even play. I was coming up with
you're
like
like,
Odyssey draft cards they could have.
you're like, all right, the Marith deck's gonna cast Orcish Bowmasters.
No, honestly. I was just trying to remember like the different somebody would play a card from Fifth Dawn and I was just trying to imagine draft archetypes from Fifth Dawn Limited. That like other cards they might be playing.
And I'm gonna preface this with shout out Jason Baird. I know you worked really hard on this season on Tameshi, but those games were getting dragged out, and I just remember you
Oh my
going
god.
Dylan. You're like, okay, all right, guys, we're playing our Neon Dynasty draft shaft.
Whatever said. I don't remember to be honest. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is I've played against Tameshi a lot. Like well, not even a lot. Maybe like 10 times, but more than almost every other person who's played CDH essentially. And I don't know how that deck wins. I don't. He was doing some stuff with Mind Over Matter in the One Ring, drawing his deck. And I still was I had no clue how he was going to actually win the game, and it didn't matter because he got milled out and decked by Rogsi's own Ryan Delaney with the grinding station.
Yeah.
Um, but that game at least had some excitement to it towards the end, right? Like there was
Are
some
we?
drama for sure. We don't have to
Yeah.
get too deep into it.
No, I mean, I want to bring it up. I think it's an interesting debate in CDH, and you don't really see. I guess you see similar situations in other formats, like team scooping to get someone an RCQ invite. But in this
We did
game in
it.
particular,
Amalia wins.
it was 56 islands and 4 Amalias, and the guy's deck list made it.
Right. Homie scoop, team scoop,
Yeah, got the buy.
got the buy.
So in this game, though, the same game where Tameshi activates the One Ring has, I think, 12 counters on the One Ring and 14 cards left in library, and Ryan on Rogsai activates Grinding Station to mill for 3, which then in turn, once Jason would draw, would eliminate him from the game. In that same game, a player, Eric Matner, aka Sharky Online Asian Dorado, him and Ryan are part of the same play group. He cast a Mnemonic Betrayal, and in response to the Mnemonic Betrayal, Ryan cast an entombing Thassa's Oracle,
Yeah.
thus securing Eric's ability to win the game. I don't know if we want to delve into dissecting that, but curious, chat, what your thoughts are on
Chat.
King making our friends.
Yeah. Our Patreon our patrons, our $10 patrons have access to the live chat right now. Yo, what's up, C12? I see you.
Yo, we got Steve Rock Lobster. What up?
Yo, Steve, what's up? Can't wait to play Black Myth Wukong later.
Are you guys gamers?
Yeah, we're big gamers. The thing that I think about this situation is when you look at the context of the game, Ryan goes for a win attempt. He gets stopped. They're at time. Ryan is essentially locked into top 16 anyway. He has 13 points. And Sharky is on the bubble. With a draw, he's on the bubble. And he doesn't know the blue farm player at the table. Uh, who cares, right? Like in that situation, I would do the same thing. If I'm with a friend, right, and my option is draw, which doesn't really help me, or I could throw the win and get my friend in the top 16. Well, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, no, I think there's an argument to be made in both directions. I think it can feel bad for the other players at the table. Granted, Jason was eliminated by this point, but that other player, it could feel bad for them. It's a legal play. It's completely legal to throw a game to your friend, and I can't say that it would be disingenuous to say. I know you've never been in a winning position, but I've certainly been in positions where people have
Fair.
scooped me or threw me the game because I had a chance at top 16 and they didn't.
I've thrown some games, not on purpose, all the time.
Yeah, well, that's why you're on Pump Pals. But
Right.
I think it's hard to say. I likely would do the same thing for a friend, given the complexities of this format. Doesn't necessarily feel great. I mean, having a loss on your record versus a draw, I don't like that. And again, it can generate sort of negative play experiences for the rest of the table. But given the context, given friends being pals, being dude bros, I more than likely would do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, in context of the game, realistically speaking, I think Ryan had like a Praetor's Grasp in his graveyard anyway. Like,
Mhm.
I genuinely think the Thoracle did not matter, and that Ryan was basically just doing it to get the game over with and sort of as a joke, essentially.
Right.
Which, I mean, whatever. It definitely made good content, for sure. Generated some fun tweets.
You were
Uh,
casting that game, right?
I was, yeah.
What was chat's reaction?
There was definitely people who were pretty incensed about it, but I kind of have a feeling that those people, in general, aren't the same people who are usually in that position, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, I think when you're dealing with that those kind of stakes, and you're already secured, and people have this idea of like there being like an ethically right thing to do in a competitive game, right? Especially a competitive multiplayer free for all game, right? And I just
Right.
don't really think that's true. Like this whole concept of like, oh, you shouldn't lie, your word means everything, yada yada. I think that kind of concept is pretty stupid, to be perfectly honest with you.
Eh, I don't think it's stupid. I think blatantly lying
Dumb?
and manipulating a game situation are two different things. I do think there is some level of, for some people are just fine with it, and it sounds like you are, and that's fine. But for
Yeah.
me, I am personally not someone who wants to be labeled as a liar. I don't want people to go, yeah, that guy lied to me in a game. Yeah, I'm going to misrepresent. I'm going to try to angle shoot and withhold information while trying to gain as much. It's a
Right.
competitive game, but I'm never just going to go, the sky is green or the sky. I mean, unless I'm colorblind, but I'm
I
never
am.
going to yeah, I know. That's why you have such bad taste.
You're right.
But I'm
That's why
never,
Gus like
I'm,
that.
yeah, everything makes sense now. But I don't know. Even within the context of the game, I want to win, but my word still means something to me. And maybe that is, boomery of me to say, but I'm not going to outwardly lie, or tried and true lie just to try to win a game. I really, at the end of the day, don't care enough. I don't need it that much, and I don't want to be
Yeah.
labeled as someone who lies.
Yeah, I definitely get the sentiment. I just think more, not even like your personal feelings on it. I just think the grandstanding about it is a little like the pearl clutching about it is a little much. You
Hmm.
know, like yeah, these players are making legal game actions. There's money on the line. If you have the option between giving it to your friend or a stranger, putting your friend in a winning position, you're probably going to take it. I would
Yeah,
think. I mean, that's what I
100%.
would do.
Yeah, I agree
Right.
with that.
So I don't know. I don't really have a moral like imperative against that kind of thing.
I think it'd be disingenuous to say that I am against it when I would probably do it and it's been done to me. Um,
Right.
I can understand though the greater context of people generally having issues with it in a competitive sort of format.
For sure, but I think like in poker, like I don't know if you're familiar with poker, the game loosely based off this hit song from Lady Gaga. Uh
Okay.
in poker, if you're in a tournament, like a tournament game, and you go in with somebody, there might be times where you'll, you know, get somebody else into a pot. You might have a prearranged agreement or a prearranged, idea of how to get somebody else in, right, for their money.
Hmm.
And that's not necessarily illegal in the game, right?
Right.
You're just playing the game of poker. It's a game of hidden information, and you're not sharing information, right? You might just have a concept of how you're going to play the game ahead of time, in order to maximize the EV for you and whoever you came with.
Well, I will say I saw some former professional poker players being asked, "Hey, if you and a friend went into a big tournament with sort of this mentality of I'll throw games to you to try to get higher EV." While it's not against the rules, the overwhelming majority of poker players were saying the community would handle it if that happened. So
Right.
it's not
Fair.
necessarily against the rules, but you would sort of ostracize yourself and maybe be precluded from future events if that did happen.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just don't really think I. Well, first off, I'm not included in any events, so
You're in the casting booth now, baby.
I'm in the casting booth now. So there you go. So maybe that's just on me. Maybe I just don't have a good view on it because I haven't been. You got to be there to do that, right?
I
Um,
remember when we were first beginning casting the Envy, and I said, "I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me." And the fear,
that was true.
yeah, the fear is really, I felt, what carried you through that invitational.
Yeah, it also was the like weapons that you would wield and
Yeah.
point towards me. The various different bladed and otherwise weapons you were using. Um, but I think man, I'll tell you what, I really wanted Chicken Bryan from Carrabba's.
Oh my god, fuck it. Before we get into Chicken Bryan talk, I'm live right now in the Punt Pals Discord, bustling community right now.
Bustling.
In our
Tens of people.
literally 30 plus people right now.
Holy shit.
Get in early for the OG roll that'll only be given out. We're gonna stop handing those out. I
The
think
first
December
10,000. Probably the first 10,000 people.
December 1st is my projection that we'll hit that number. So you want to get it now?
You want to get it now.
I was typing while Dylan was talking because I wasn't going to pay attention, and
I
I
was just
said
viewing.
we're recording RN, short for right now. Anyone want to shout out? First person to say yes gets it. Jesse Padilla, shout out Jesse. He said he wanted a shout out in the pod. And Rami, CDH tournament grinder in our server, huge Punt Pals fan, was really active in the TopDeck server, was really active in a few channels in the TopDeck server, and now is I hopefully going to be active in the Punt Pals server. Jesse and Rami, thank you so much. Early OG supporters. I'll make sure we get you that OG role. Really happy to have you here, and wanted to shout you out before we put in our order for a big heaping plate of Chicken Bryan. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of putting an order in. Before we get into Chicken Bryan, we're just going to delay the Chicken Bryan thing for a little bit.
What?
You do owe the Discord community, our Discord community, copies of Demonic Bargain.
No.
We had an agreement. We had a little bit of a tiff on the Discord about the cards Ristic Tutor and Demonic Bargain. And if you don't know, I'll fill you in. Ristic Tutor, 2 and a black sorcery. Search for any card in your library. Any player may pay 2 to counter this effect. And Demonic Bargain, 2 and a black sorcery. Little theme
Wait,
there.
hold on. Ristic Tutor sounds so fucking bad when you say it out loud.
This is the first time you've ever heard anybody actually say it out loud.
I've only ever read the card. I haven't heard the words said aloud.
Yeah, it's zero shot. You actually read the whole thing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be playing it. So, Demonic Bargain is 2 and a black sorcery. Exile the top 13 cards of your library. Then put any card from your library into your hand. So, much better card. Just sounds way better.
No,
let's be
no one has
realistic.
2 mana. No one has 2 mana.
I have 13 cards no matter what, and I do not care about them. But
Okay.
we had an agreement that if a player top 16's Invitational with a copy of Demonic Bargain in their deck list, that you'll buy one for the tens of members in our Discord.
Yeah.
And our very own Zane happened to get 5th place per usual with a copy of Demonic Bargain in his deck list. No force to will, but he registered Demonic Bargain. Think about that for a second.
I will, yeah, no force, all in on Demonic Bargain. Well, yeah, Demonic Bargain is just going to exile your force anyway. You don't need it that
exactly.
bad.
So what do you need it for?
So a little bit of context here. Let me preface. Yeah, I will buy a Demonic Bargain. I think Dylan and I both will sign them, and then at the events we see you, just mention you're in the cord, the disc. I think
with the
what's
OG
cooler
roll.
with the mention you have the OG roll. You're the first 10,000. What's a cooler way to? Yeah, we'll throw you a DB
a DC
from the disc. I think disc is cooler than the what is it? Oh, are you in
what
the in the cord? Are you
what about
in the cord?
PPD?
That's
PPD,
cool.
the Punt Pals Discord.
Punt Pals Discord. PPD.
People love acronyms. Well, I mean, we love acronyms. Obviously, we've made like 10 of them per episode.
If you're in the
we've
cord,
only done one episode.
Let me know. But the Ristic Tutor, I gaslit myself. I originally said it on Twitter as a joke, and then I was like, hold on, maybe I'm cooking.
Psyop.
I psyops myself. It's not gaslighting if you change reality. The argument that I had for it was or I guess not we, because I fucking hate Rogsai. Rogsai started playing Bolas's Citadel. So my argument was, with how quickly we want to get out Bolas's Citadel, turn 1 or 2, and how greedy mana and mana development has been in CDH, that you could feasibly get away with playing Ristic Tutor. And the direct card comparison was comparing it to Grim Tutor. Grim Tutor is 2 black pips and a colorless, and deals 3 damage, or you lose 3 life, excuse me, to do a demonic tutor effect. You get any card. Rhystic Tutor does that with 1 black and 2 colorless, no life. So if you're using it off of a Bolas's Citadel, it's going to cost you 3 life rather than 6. With the downside of someone has 2 mana laying around, very unlikely that
Very unlikely.
they'll be able to counter it. So, and the other argument too with that, and I still think Rhystic Tutor is good in this current meta, is Rogsai especially is so good at making 1 pip 2 colorless. Most of the payoff spell, or a lot of the payoff spells, Jessica's Will, Twister, the Wheels, those are all cards you want to be playing pretty early on, and the deck's just really good at casting them. So then it's become this pedantic argument over Rhystic Tutor and Demonic Bargain, because Dylan saw Rhystic Tutor and was like, that's hot, caliente trabajo. And with the same mentality of how good the deck is at making 1 pip 2 colorless, and with having a Grim Tutor replacement, Dylan has been a champion of Demonic Bargain.
I've been a laser. I've been demonically blazing that bargain. But I will say I did play Rhystic Tutor, and I think the one time I got it off in a game, I just cast it as like an ice, essentially, on the Magda player who I knew was going to pay for it, and just tapped him out of their like bullshit artifact removal spell so I could resolve my Bolas' Citadel. So it did work there, but I basically just cast it as a tap 2 lands for 3 mana. I went down on mana, basically.
So you're saying it worked?
I mean, yeah, it did work. I did win that game. I did have to pass the turn, but eventually when it came back to me, I did win the game.
Check, please.
Oh, yeah, my catchphrase you stole. Oh, Chicken Bryan. Right. Remember 3 topics ago when we were going to talk about Chicken Bryan?
Yeah, I do now.
Yeah. I don't even know what we're going to say about it. It's really good. Some Carabas.
Can you give a full description of Chicken Bryan?
So, okay, yeah. So during the finals game of the Invitational, I made a reference to the winner. I think I referenced that if Bailey wins the game, he's going to take us to Carrabba's and buy us Chicken Bryan. I think I was really hungry at the time, and I've been thinking a lot about that. I think after I got home from the boil, and Punt City 3, actually, just coincidentally, not planned, I had just gone to Carrabba's very soon after. And for those who don't know, which I'm assuming is none of you, Chicken Bryan, it's a grilled chicken with a feta cheese and sun-dried tomatoes with a lemon sauce. And I prefer to get it with Alfredo pasta on the side. I mentioned it. Lauren had no clue what I was talking about. Nobody in the chat knew what I was talking about. And I had talked to maybe 20 people. I talked to Baldy, or the open head judge, Marco, the head judge of the open. I talked to all the judges. This is during the games, by the way. I pulled them aside.
You were ranting. You were like raving. You were asking the hotel staff, "Hey, you guys heard of this?"
I did. We went to the front desk to buy waters, and I had like a 5-minute conversation with the security guard. Very excited. He was like, "Boy, I'm hungry," in his like Ohio accent. Just I was going off about Chicken Bryan.
There might be one in Pasadena. I thought the closest one was going to be in Vegas. There actually might be one closer to me.
I'll tell you what. Next event, whatever the next event we're at in person, I will move hell. I will move hell and earth to get us and the boys to Carrabba's. Punt pals meet up at Carrabba's.
We need to do we have to do the pilgrimage, which is Rainforest Cafe into Carrabba's.
It's a Carrabba's. Lunch at Carrabba's, dinner at the cafe.
Dinner at the RC, D at the RC.
Ooh, gas. Hit the RC after, play an RCQ.
Chicken. All right, I'm on the Carrabba's website. Wood grilled and topped with goat cheese, sun dried tomatoes, basil.
Wait, goat cheese?
It's goat cheese.
I thought it was feta.
You've been hyping up Chicken Bryan. You don't even know the fucking ingredients.
I mean, they're not that dissimilar. Let's be realistic here.
Okay. Well, it's goat cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, basil, and lemon butter sauce.
I
Served
mean, I
with
was
your
pretty
choice.
close.
You were close. You were close. You can also add crumbled gorgonzola if you're a fucking sicko.
No, I would never fucking. I like gorgonzola, but fuck you. Fuck that.
Some of the premium sides that we can add are rosemary garlic fries. It looks like fettuccine alfredo is considered a premium side. That's an extra $3.49.
Well, yeah.
Sautéed
I mean, we're not
spinach.
broke. This is my break from Nobu. Like, this is what I eat when I don't go to Nobu for dinner.
You can also get spaghetti with bolognese meat sauce.
Yeah, decent option, but the fettuccine Alfredo is honestly just a step above.
You can also get pini pomodoro.
Are you can people comment and let us know if they like the mispronouncing pasta names bit? We've
Yeah.
been planning it for a while. And
Hey, guys.
we were kind of debating. We've been debating in DMs for a while if people are gonna like this bit of us mispronouncing pastas for a couple minutes. We have a few more minutes to go. But maybe we'll just stop here and pick it up next episode.
I'm asking in the Punt Pals Discord, is mispronouncing pasta names a funny bit? See,
We
that's
need a
the
live
thing.
chat.
We're
Wait, we do.
basically
But...
getting a live chat feed right now, and this is the benefit of joining the Punt Pals Discord. Again, it'll be in the show notes. You're not going to want to miss this. Again, the OG tag, the demonic bargain, but Jesse and Rami were literally a live part of this recording. I closed my eyes. I was hearing their voices. I thought they were in the room. That's
Whatever
how
they sound like.
intimate they were like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," I was like, oh, that's them. That's that's the intimacy that the PPD, the Punt Pals Cord, the Discord, that's how close and intimate you get with Dylan and I.
Yeah, and we will not sell your information. We
Yeah,
absolutely will not sell your personal information to any brokers, and we will not take requests from any brokers who want to receive lots of information from us.
yeah. If you're a broker and you're looking to curate the tens of people who admire us and want to steal their information, don't DM us. That'd be
Definitely
nuts.
don't. That'd be nuts.
It definitely would not hurt Dylan's quest to get sponsored.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. I forgot I wrote that down. I do want to get sponsored. I'm so jealous. You have Propaganda MTG. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sponsored by Dragon Shield. Oh,
I am.
I think I want to. I'm gonna hit up Ultimate Card, and we could just have a rival. I think it'd be fun for the cast. We have a rivalry, and
Well,
maybe that we
Memo
get
and
the
I.
cast. Maybe we get the cast sponsored by Heavy Play.
Yeah, I am sponsored by Propaganda MTG. They were my first and original sponsor. I am sponsored by Dragon Shield. My affiliate link is in my link tree. If you guys are needing sleeves, let me know. I got a cut of that moolah. My Dragon Shield check keeps me going. And
This is why you're sponsored, man. I mean, the shilling is sick.
what else? What else am I'm sponsored by a few other things. I just can't remember, which is
A
probably really
few?
good for the people that sponsor me. But
Yeah.
um,
Lamborghini USA.
no, not USA. They didn't want me. I'm sponsored by Lamborghini Bogota.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, I'm sponsored by Ibiza Nightlife. I'm sponsored by Nobu Malibu.
I'm actually sponsored by Belarus, which I need to actually cancel that. That one's getting problematic.
The whole country.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I'm gonna,
I might cancel that one.
yeah, I'm gonna drop
Shout
that
out
one,
to my
guys.
Belarusians in the chat. I
Dude,
like how we're saying in the chat. There's no chat. This is not live.
I was looking at our demographics, and then I think we're kind of getting on the tail end because we're starting to go nuts. Our demographics of where people listen to us is actually kind of funny.
What do
I'm
you
gonna get
mean? Oh yeah, pull it
this.
up. Sure.
Yeah, this tells me like what percentage from where our audience is, and there's some random so we have 80% of our listeners are in the US.
It makes sense. Yeah, sure.
6% are in Germany, which
The
is like
Euro
gonna be like,
contingent.
yeah, Memo and the crew.
Yeah, shout out Memo.
4% are in Australia.
Whoever the hell those people are, right down under. They listen to it
3%.
backwards.
3% are in Canada. Shout out into the north.
Yeah, it's Spleen Face and Sick Robot. Thank you guys. Checking it out.
And then these are like the 1% and under. I'm just gonna rattle them off. Are you ready?
Sure.
Ireland, Denmark, Netherlands, United Kingdom, Hong Kong, Poland, Guyana, Sweden,
Okay.
Romania, Israel, Italy, Slovenia, Philippines, Honduras, Belgium, Spain, Mexico, Ukraine, Slovakia, Malaysia, and Brazil.
Sylvania? Is that like Transylvania? Like, that's a real country?
I think Transylvania is a real country.
No way. That's where that's where Dracula's from. What
Also,
the
I said
fuck?
Slovenia.
Oh, I
It's
think it's
south of Austria.
Sylvania.
But
No,
Transylvania is
okay.
real. It's a
No
region in
shot.
Romania.
What? That's where Dracula's from, dude. So
Yeah,
you're telling me Dracula's real?
yeah. Vampires are real.
What the
Have you seen
fuck?
what we do in the shadows?
You know what? I haven't. I gotta check
It's
it
a
out.
documentary.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I kind of is Transylvania real? I'm not even doing a bit.
Yeah,
This is not even a joke. I
Transylvania
actually don't know if it's real or not.
is a region of Romania.
Where are you reading that?
I'm on Wikipedia.
Yeah, anybody could edit that. Doofus.
Okay, let
The
me Google.
vampires could have edited that.
Is Transylvania real?
Give me like a government source. Like I don't know, not Transylvanian government.
I don't know why, but this is taking me when I like am Wikipediaing things. My first Wikipedia is Chinese. I have to screenshot this. It's Chinese Wikipedia.
They're intercepting you. They heard what you said about Taiwan.
Dude, look at this. I'm gonna post this in the Punt Pals Discord, and it's not gonna make any sense to anybody. But do you
Oh,
see
but the
this URL?
OGs will get it.
Um,
Are people in China like really confused about Transylvania? Just like me. I don't know. I
so
am.
this website's called Secret Romania, and it says, "What country is Transylvania in? How do I get there?"
Okay, Secret Romania. That's written by a vampire. A vampire runs that website for sure. Like, what's so secret about it? What are you hiding in Romania from me?
Vampires.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, much like
Well, hold up.
vampires.
Well,
Oh,
one last thing before we transition out. I think we do need to talk about what happened with the iron. We just have to hit that before this episode ends. It's just too fresh.
so I was talking to Jenya about it. It like came up naturally in conversation with Jenya, my girlfriend,
Shout out Jenny.
and I sent her a tweet that you said. I was like, I love Dylan. She goes, he's the best homie. Can't get over him ironing his shirt and burning it. I go, it's so fucking funny. She goes, he's ahead of the curve. Ironing is a flex. Not many people of our generation like to make their clothing wrinkle free.
True.
Um, I mean, you can take it away. I have never seen someone leave scorch marks on a blazer before.
Okay. So just to set things up, this is Friday night, the night before Saturday of the Invitational. My first time casting, mind you, and I have a nice little outfit going. Right, I have a nice blazer. I just went to the store. I just was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna ball." I bought a blazer. Oh Jesus, bought a few like dress shirts, and at home I have a steamer. Right, like a stand steamer. You fill with water and you just steam your clothes. There's no iron involved. There's no like hot metal involved. So I don't remember the last time I used an iron. 15 years ago, never. I might have never used an iron before. It's very possible. I feel like I've always had a steamer. It's not even like they're expensive. You can get a steamer for like $40, which like is like a glass of water at Nobu. And we're at this Airbnb, humble Airbnb. Uh, shout out Mikey and Bonnie for securing the Airbnb. Humble Airbnb.
Shout out the AFTH crew.
Yeah, AFTH crew.
Vincent and Alex and
Alex,
Tad
Sad
and Turbo
Robot,
Nuz.
Mike, Sad Robot, Turbo Nas
Yep.
on Twitter. The
Mm-hmm.
whole crew at the Airbnb, all the staff. Um, we so I'm in like a weird little transition room. I guess what you might call it. It's like a hallway, and then a separate room with like a table in it. A really small room that goes upstairs to an attic bedroom. And so I've just like monopolized this little room, and I have like the ironing board in there on top of the table in my clothes. And Lauren is just standing in the doorway, just watching me iron. It's like 1 a.m. We're getting home from LobbyCon.
I did not say a word while this was happening. I was just
Did
watching
not
it
say a
unfold.
word, just watching me. Very uncomfortable. And I've never used an iron, so the iron's hot, and I'm just like, putting the hot iron on the thing. Occasionally, I'm pressing the steam button because I don't even know how it works. Um, and I put it on my jacket and I press the steam button and I lift it up, and there's like scorch marks, like there's like a pattern of the iron.
No,
And
no,
in
no,
my
no, no,
head,
no, 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 no.
go ahead, go ahead.
You lay down your blazer. You don't steam it or squirt the liquid on it or the
I
water
didn't
or
know you had to
whatever.
squirt it.
And you just fucking iron to blazer, just imprint it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. And at first, I'm thinking like, first off, I didn't like wipe down the iron. I didn't know that's the thing you had to do. It makes sense when you think about it, right? That you
to
probably
wipe
should
the
do that.
dust off the iron.
Yeah, like when you say it out loud, this is a Ristic Tutor situation. When you say it out loud, it sounds obvious, right? But I just didn't think about it, so I'm like, oh, it's probably dirt, and I go to like wipe it off, and it's not coming off, and you're just hysterically laughing. You're just hysterically laughing, and I'm like, why are you laughing? I don't get it. What's funny here? And then you just told me I had burned it. Like I, in my mind, irreparably burned my blazer that I spent like at least $100 on.
Yeah, I just watching it unfold, and then you were like, you pressed it down, and then you're like, why didn't you tell me? And then that made me laugh even more. And then you just kept looking at me because I saw the light leave your eyes of you truly thinking you just had obliterated your blazer, and you were very excited about like dressing up, and like you were a consummate professional through the weekend. Um, and you were just like, why did you tell me? Like, and I almost think, I mean, in hindsight, we're laughing, but I think in the moment you were actually kind of pissed at me, which makes it even funnier now. Be like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? As the scorch marks of like dirt burnt into your blazer are just like, it's sitting there like as this elephant in the room that neither of us are talking about, because you were so excited to like dress up and look nice, and like I like was not helpful at all. And it just the air had left the room. We're the only ones awake. It is 1 a.m.
I'm trying not to like yell.
You're trying not to scream at me because I literally watched you almost ruin your jacket. It's just, and then like I can tell you were upset, and so I was like, okay, I guess I'll help you. And the first thing I do is just spray water, and then you were silent for like 10 seconds, and we're like, oh, I needed to put that on first.
I did not know. Okay, first off, so I burned the jacket, and then the first thing I'm doing is like googling like scorch marks on jacket, and it's like, oh, you're gonna have to wash that with bleach, and like you're gonna have to return the jacket. It's irreparable. You're screwed for life. And I'm like running into the bathroom, like putting water on it, and you're just there hysterically laughing at me. I was like, bro, why did you not tell me this was a possibility?
Dude, you were frantic like a kid who like pooped his pants in gym class. Like the level of like fear that you were operating under. Oh my fucking god. It was so funny. You and then just the less I did, the more mad you were getting at the situation.
Well, because listen, like an iron is, it feels like when you have a steamer. I know I've mentioned owning a steamer a lot, but when you have a steamer, an iron feels like medieval ass technology. Like, what the fuck am I doing with this hot iron? Like, are you kidding me? What is
I
this?
I think it was Sunday morning. You're on the phone with your girlfriend, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm stuck with this fucking Paleolithic technology, babe. We're never gonna own an iron. I don't know why I'm even being subjected to this."
I would have to be like like I could be flat broke, living in a cardboard box, and need to iron my suit, need my suit unwrinkled for a job interview to get back on my feet and feed my family, and I would not touch an iron. Like fuck that shit. What are we doing here? We have technology now. Like, this is not 1880. Like,
And then I
why is there a
remember
hot metal that could burn my
I,
thing?
I was teaching you how to iron, and you were just, it almost, I think, made it worse. You were just like, I don't even care about this blazer. I don't care about this fucking event. Put me on the next play back. I'm like, no, Dylan, like you have to just spritz water and then you like iron out, like you iron out the creases and just, oh, and then you fucking, it was a mini ironing board and you just like you haphazardly just fucking throw it on the table. And I was like, what are you doing? You're like, this is just how it works. It's just how the fucking ironing board works. And I remember lifting it, like pulling out its legs so you could elevate the piece of clothing. And you looked at me like I was the biggest asshole that had ever looked you in the eye.
I must have been in a mood, bro.
Dude, you were fucking fussy.
I was nobody gave me the iPad for a while. I was fussing.
Dude,
I was
I
upset.
just, the fucking look in your eye when I was like, no, you have to like pull the little legs out from the ironing board. You like, I cannot even begin to describe the fucking disdain in your eyes. I was just
Because
like,
how did you know there were little legs?
every ironing board has little legs.
No, but they have big legs. So the ironing boards have big legs, Lauren. So how do you
Big
know that the
ironing
little one
boards
has little legs?
Big ironing boards have big legs, Dylan. Little ironing boards have little legs. I know because I had that fucking same style of ironing board in college because I couldn't have fucking afford a steamer.
Okay, so that's the difference between you and me. I was in college eating Nobu, having Toro every night, driving the Ghost, driving the Double R, and you were, eating ramen noodles with your fucking ironing board.
It's true. Well, yeah, you were in fuck. All right, Mister Big Shot. I went to college in New York City. Okay, I fucking don't know what Transylvania is. I was in fucking Hodunk, Flagstaff, Arizona, going to college.
I was I was in college, bottle girls. I had bottle girls in my room
In
with
my dorm.
sparklers in my dorm with sparklers in my penthouse dorm, sparklers in Ciroc, not Ciroc, sparklers in
You can't
Ciroc.
even pronounce it right.
I don't even need to, bro. I'm off the Ciroc. I can't pronounce it anymore. Yeah, I have enough passion Ciroc in me. I stopped being able to pronounce anything. I they have the Ciroc, they have the sparklers. They're holding up a big sign that says "Class at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Dylan. Get to bed." And there's fucking Little John pumping through the fucking speakers. Beyonce on the speakers too, playing at the same time, two sides of the room. So it feels like I'm in two clubs at once. That's how I could afford that shit. I didn't need a fucking ironing board.
Meanwhile, I'm living in a house in
A
Flagstaff,
hovel.
Arizona, a village, a population. This is not a meme. My college town population was like 30 or 40,000. Um, it was no, I'm sorry. It
That's what I
was
kept in my pockets every day.
it was 30,000 when school was not in session, and then 50,000 when school was in session. So the city almost doubled when school was in session. And I was there eating my ramen noodles with my mini ironing board, meeting up with Tim Sabretooth. I knew Tim like 10 years ago in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Shout
Shout
out
out
Tim.
our boy Gold Sabretooth, who did our full Punt Pals rebrand. Cannot thank him enough for his incredible kindness. Um, but I was fucking jamming FNM Modern with him. And I think the most, like, one of our first memories is he saw me get super fucking mad because we were playing Modern because I thought that
You
was
burned
cool
a
at the time.
jacket.
No, because I knew how to use an ironing board. My
Oh, okay.
opponent, this is still triggering me to this day. He verdant catacombs for a dryad arbor and then goes, okay, I'm going to tap it for mana. I was like, no, you can't. It has summoning sickness. He goes, no, it doesn't. It's a land. And I was like, yeah, it's a creature too. It's dryad arbor. That's how the card works. And he's like, well, no, I fetched for it. That means it gets rid of summoning sickness. And this was a guy who's like, yeah, like I competed on the pro tour, but under a different name. I can't tell you who I was back then. It's like,
My
so you're
girlfriend was on the Pro Tour. She's from Canada. She's a French
oh,
Canadian.
oh fuck, Celine Dion.
Yeah. That's where the
But
Tundra's from.
so then I had to call Judge, and then this guy, he's like, well, I've seen all the pros do it like this. And I was like, okay, well, the pros are wrong. Your fucking dryad arbor has summoning sickness, you buffoon. And like I just remember Gold. This was like legit FNM 10 years ago. Gold just like watching me argue with this guy, and he came up to me and goes, "Yeah, that guy's kind of an asshole." Huh? And I was like, "Yeah,
Tim's like, oh, yeah, you're cool.
you passed the vibe."
You pressed him out. I liked how you mauled it off with that guy
I like how you fucking eviscerated him.
at this F&M, at this modern F&M.
Yeah, fucking 12 people in Flagstaff, Arizona. I was so excited to fucking walk from campus to F&M. I thought that was the height of luxury back then. And I I don't know how fucking down the rabbit hole I can go. Just all these memories started coming back to me. There was a place called, oh my god, what was that Mexican food place called in Flagstaff? It had some cringe ass name. I'm so sorry. We just are in this rabbit hole right now. We can edit this out if we're getting too long.
Fuck it. Who cares?
Um. Oh my! It had like a legit.
You know what? While you think of it, I do have a little anecdote. Real
Mhm.
quick, I'll just interject here. I was telling the story to some of the boys. Oh, or this is just a tip. This is just a pro tip. If you want to play a little goof on your friends, make them walk the prank. Um, what you can do, take them to a restaurant they've never been before, and you don't have to have been there before. You can just tell them you've been there before, and tell them that on the menu, it's not on the menu, but you tell them that you have to ask. It's their secret thing. They don't advertise it, but all the locals know. You have to ask for a side of crazy sauce to go with your meal, and you can
Yeah.
change this up too. Like I've been to a like a seafood place, and I said, "Oh, give me the island sauce or the wacky sauce, depending on where you are." And you have to tell them to ask for that on the side, and it will just be really funny when they say it, and the waiter has no clue what they're talking about. It's a fun time, and half the time, the waiter will just bring a random sauce, not wanting to get into it. This has happened to me. So,
Really?
yeah, yeah. I've just seen them be like, okay, no problem, and then just bring like a Thousand Island dressing or something.
That's so. Get the silly.
Yeah, it's really good because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? So that's my antidote. That's just a fun thing you can do to play a little prank on your friends.
I'm
But yeah, go
still.
ahead.
I'm
You get
still
there
fucking.
yet?
No, we might
My
have to
little.
edit out some of this dead air.
This is fine.
Um.
This is all good stuff right here. I mean, we're talking about crazy sauce and wacky sauce, island sauce. There's some. I'm sure there's other good sauce names too. Like, tell them that you want the Punt Pal sauce, the stinky sauce.
The gluttonous fellow beast sauce.
Yeah, the the magic sauce. That's probably a good one, right? As a magic, or that's the thing. We were talking about this earlier today. Like, is this really a magic podcast, or are we just like magic essenced?
We're like LaCroix. We're the LaCroix of Magic Podcast, where it's like it kind of has flavor.
Yeah, like somebody's playing magic in the other room, and we're vaguely aware of it.
We want this to be the podcast that feels like LobbyCon.
Yeah, LobbyCon if we were disenfranchised from actually playing. LobbyCon, but we just went out to dinner instead.
I'm literally phoning a friend right now because it's driving me nuts. What was the name of the restaurant? By
God, this can't end on a cliffhanger. We can't
it's like
transition to it off a cliffhanger.
I'm on Facebook because I remember seeing them selling the things like selling they were like
Oh,
selling all the stuff from the restaurant, and I'm texting a friend who lives in Flagstaff.
this reminds me. We had a moment. I don't know if you remember the Sunday night in the Uber. Yeah, we've been talking about this all like since then, all week since the Invitational. I told a story in the Uber, and we both were like, "Wow, I need to save this sick ass story for the podcast." And neither of us can remember it.
So what I do remember is you were like telling the story, and I was like, no, stop telling me, save it for the pod. We're like, yeah, that's a good idea, we'll save it for the pod. I'm gonna keep telling you though, and you kept going.
And we
I
can't
got the
remember
name.
it.
I got the name of the restaurant.
All right, go for it.
Um,
The thing.
so the restaurant was called El Capitan, and it was
Okay.
this shitty like Mexican dive bar right next to the shop where I would play F&M at in Flagstaff, Arizona. And I remember
I'm
they
not gonna
had like
lie.
this like yeah.
We waited so long for the name, and I feel like I'm a little underwhelmed. I thought the name was gonna be way cooler. I
El
don't know.
Capitan.
Like like I guess. I just thought it was gonna be a better payoff. But go ahead.
But I remember, so I was a broke ass college student. They had this margarita called the Lily, and they wouldn't tell you what was in it. And it
Perfect.
was, they would pour it out of a gas can, like when you would order it. But it was like buy two for $10 on Friday nights. And they had a eat a burrito challenge. You get a t-shirt thing. Like it was one of those places.
Yeah,
Um,
classy
one,
joint. Lots of crazy sauce.
Yeah. Oh, and they had a salsa bar that was always terrible, but the alcohol was really cheap. And being in college and having cheap alcohol was fucking sweet. So I would drink 2 Lily margaritas and then go play F&M, and I thought that was just like the best life could ever get. But these things were straight up like jet fuel.
Just
They had
diesel.
Yeah, they would always ask you, "Oh, like what flavor do you want?" I'm like, "No, I don't want it flavored." And the bartender is like, "No, you need to pick a syrup. You can't drink it otherwise. Like you will not be able to because it's so
This is
rancid."
not fresh Ciroc. You need a you need a real flavor in this thing. This
Yeah,
is
it was,
Everclear.
dude. It straight up was, and it really was just. I think it was like their tequila well, and they just sold it.
Right.
Um, but holy shit, drinking 2 of those and then rolling into F&M, being prepared to fucking play Is It Storm and rip your barrels and your Goblin Electromancers while playing Gifts Ungiven.
Gas.
That was
CDH staple.
with Tim Gold Sabretooth. That was the fucking life.
I like to imagine that story you told earlier about the guy with the Dryad Arbor. I like to
Mhm.
imagine, like, in retrospect, that you're just tanked. You're just completely fucking tanked, and the guy's done nothing wrong. He just fetched a forest. It's not even a Dryad Arbor. You're just like, Judge, how is he tapping that thing? Tim is like,
Well,
Tim is like, this guy's fucking hammered. He's like, can we get him out of here? And you're like, this is my buddy.
you're my friend now. That's kind of how you and I met. I was just like, yeah, you're my friend now.
Yeah, we're cool now. That was after you rolled out on me.
It's dinner boys, Ciroc boys,
Ciroc, the Club Boys, Ibiza
the
Boys.
dude. No, I straight up was. I was pretty hammered every Friday night. That was my thing, but it definitely was a Dryad Arbor. And I know the judge who had to do the judge call. I could message them and they could corroborate. I have receipts. I can corroborate these stories, but
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So now that we've taken a 30-minute detour off of the transition to the outro,
Sorry,
let's
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
no, go ahead.
I'm
Fuck
gonna
it.
detour us. I'm gonna detour
Detour
us
it.
again. My
Steer
my
the ship.
friend my friend Corey, who owns Cab Comics in Flagstaff, Arizona, dear friend of
Okay.
mine. I worked for him. He's who I texted because I know he remembers the name of like every business that's ever been in Flagstaff. And I was like, "Thank you so much for like reminding me." I literally texted him. I was like, and he's putting his son to bed right now. And I was like, "Hey, I know it's bedtime. SOS. I really need this right now."
Drops his son on the ground.
Yeah,
Like
I was
runs
like,
through the
George.
theater.
George does not need to sleep right now. But I was like,
He's curious.
he's like, don't remember what it is right now. So much construction. Business is rough over there. Think of all the margaritas you once had there.
Well, I'm certainly going to think about all the fun we had on this episode after it's over, which it will be after we do our outro. Sorry, Lauren's the transition guy. And Lauren will begin his and now.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this week's this time period's episode of Punt Pals. We are a podcast where you want to feel like you are talking about magic, but we're really magic adjacent. We're like if you opened a booster pack while on a flight, where the main thing is flying, but you're kind
You're
of
four
happy
rows
to,
down. Yeah, you're 4 rows
yeah.
down from the guy opening the booster pack.
Imagine it's like you're there, you're excited about it, but it's like, okay, I
You
just
caught a
want this
glimpse
fight.
of the wrapper.
You're like, oh,
You're watching Matrix Reloaded.
is that Revised? Holy shit. We're on a plane. And yeah, you have your your portable DVD player with Matrix Reloaded stuck in it. So that's the only movie you can watch on flights.
Movie you can watch.
But my name's Lauren, also known as MTG Hot Dog, MTG_Hot Dog. I am a retired tournament grinder for CDH. I work for TopDeck.gg in a variety of different hats. I do tournament casting for them. I run their social media and get hate on Twitter for being affiliated. So that's been really cool with all the ban talk going on recently. I'm sponsored by Propaganda MTG and I'm sponsored by Dragon Shield. My link tree will be in the show notes. If you're looking to get some extra card supplies, use my affiliate code. It helps me a lot. And I'm just like more talented than Dylan at Magic. No, that was mean. I just didn't know how else to hand it off
It's
over
okay.
to you.
I'll just take it now. We'll just have a little sour note going into the outro here. My outro. Yeah, a little taste of the little vitriol there. Yeah, and I'm on that note, Dylan Scorish, aka Scorish, Scorishism on all platforms. I'm sponsored by Crazy Sauce, Island Sauce, Wacky Sauce, the Sauce Brothers, all three of them. You could find me online. You could see me posting about different things that are very exciting. I posted this earlier, but I was asked to be part of the CDH rules committee. They wanted somebody with my level of expertise on the board, but I was at Sotheby's at the time, uh, bidding on in an auction war with the Saudi prince. I was bidding on Paul McCarthy's mood board for when he made the Magical Mystery Tour with the Beatles. I did lose, but barely. But I missed their call. So Mikey jettisoned me from the group chat. So yeah, fuck them. Fuck CDH. I'm a limited grinder for life now. I'm gonna go play some Fifth Unlimited later with the boys on Moto. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the stuff I'd like to plug.
We didn't even talk about the Pump House Invitational, but we'll do that the next epi.
Oh shit! We
We'll
forgot
do it
about
the
the
next
Pump House
one.
Invitational.
We'll
That'll be
talk
epi.
about it.
That'll be the next epi.
Yeah. We'll keep up with us on the Cord. Please make sure to join our bustling, rambunctious group of OGs in the Pump Pals Discord, and we have our go-to Punt Pals problem, which is what kind of outro do we do, Dylan?
Well, I did want to ask you if you had to ban one card from